If you are watching this video, chances are either you have dealt with cancer as maybe a parent and you're trying to help your student find scholarships. You want to see if there's something with that, or maybe your student has dealt or is dealing with cancer and you want to see if that would get them eligible for some funds for college. No matter what the circumstances is, if you're watching this video, your life has been impacted by cancer. And so before I even get into the nitty gritty and the strategies, I just want to say I see you. I have had family members as well. My own mother is a breast cancer survivor. It makes me emotional just to think about it, even though she's okay. And so it is so important that, we find any kind of assistance, because I know that going through cancer, whether it's yourself or a direct family member, it takes a huge toll on everyone involved, right? Not just financially, obviously, but also with time, with just strength and resilience and the capacity that we have for things outside of cancer, like trying to figure out how to pay for college. So I do hope swift healing for anyone if they're still in this world of cancer, and also just healing afterwards, because it is a long journey even when they are in remission. And I am honored to be able to help find some resources for you guys to try and make it a little bit less of a burden when it comes to paying for college. Now, the good news is we have found multiple avenues for money for families that are impacted by cancer. And so that's what I want today's video to focus on: scholarships for cancer survivors and including family members that were impacted by cancer. Now, make sure you hit subscribe, because every week we have a new strategy to help your family work towards a debt-free education. Hey there, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System, where we redefine paying for college to help families build strong financial futures, rather than ones where our students are taking on average 21 years of student loan payments. We've helped families secure well over $15 million in scholarships. So we have seen them for everything and anything under the sun. And we know this area, right? This is our area of expertise. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, just a quick note, this is for U.S. citizens and permanent residents. We're not familiar with how it works for international students. So before I begin, just very quickly, why is this important? Well, as we all know, cancer it's stressful, it is expensive, it is heartbreaking, but even under normal circumstances, it's hard to pay for college. Never mind having to navigate the bills for cancer on top of it. You also have loss of wages due to treatments, and of course, again, the emotional toll. Some people might not be able to work because of their emotional capacity. So there are just so many financial hits that come with cancer, and also just time, right? We may not have the support as a parent. We may not have the capacity to support our child, or if we're a guardian, our dependents, we may not have the capacity to walk them through a scholarship process, right? And that's what organizations like us at the Scholarship System are here for, to help you with that. Now, these scholarships exist because organizations, donors, communities, they understand this challenge and they want to support you and your family in that time of need. Now, nothing will undo the impacts of cancer, especially if it was a loss of a loved one. Or if it's a permanent diagnosis. But at the very least, hopefully we can try to support students to pursue their dreams, right? Give them something joyful and not have that burden, that financial burden on top of it. I think that the organizations offering this money, they're trying to say, we see you, we've been through what you are going through, and we believe in your future, and we think it is important to have one that looks bright, right? So that said, there are options out there. We're going to cover them. And I just want to let you all know that we're here with you. So we did find quite a few scholarships. I have a list here that I want to share with you guys. We will link to everything in the description below. But before I give you that list, I do want to let you know that this is just one of many categories that we can research for finding money. So, of course, this is a huge one, but there are so many different categories and ideas, Google searches we can do in order to find more money out there. And even if, say, the scholarship doesn't necessarily focus on you're a cancer survivor or you've been impacted by cancer, the cancer experience can lead to an incredible story for an essay, right? And that's where our writing skills really can come in. And I've met parents where they're like, well, I don't want to write a sob story, right? No, that's not what this is, right? It's a survival story. It is something where our students have experienced something and they're going to come out better for it. So even if we don't necessarily, maybe we don't get these that are specifically for cancer survivors or those affected by cancer, we can still use that story in order to get money as well. So that said, I do have a free webinar. It's about an hour long. Check that out. It'll give you even more ideas on where to find other scholarships. So just go to thescholarshipsystem.com/free webinar. We'll link to it in the description below, or you can click on this video and the links in the description there as well. So check out that free webinar after today's video for more options for scholarships. We want to apply to all the money out there possible, right? All right. So the first scholarship is Cancer for College. And this is one for cancer survivors, and it's anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. So it was actually founded by a cancer survivor who wanted to support them pursuing an education. The next one is NCCF, so National Collegiate Cancer Foundation Survivor Scholarship. This is for young adults who fought cancer, and it focuses on perseverance, motivation, overcoming obstacles. I think anyone that's faced cancer definitely has some stories for those words, right? The next one is the Ullman Cancer Fund for Young Adults. And this one's unique because it's not just for those who have battled cancer themselves, but it's actually for those whose parents or siblings have been affected. So this is more a family open one. The next is Patient Advocate Foundation Scholarship. This is for students that have faced any life-threatening illnesses, including cancer. Then we have the Pink Rose Foundation Scholarship. This is for students who have lost a parent to breast cancer. So, of course, their goal is to give support in one of the worst times of their life. Now, some of them can be state or region specific as well. So those were national ones, but there can be smaller, more local ones too. One is the Andre Salvo River, forgive me if I butchered that, of Life Foundation. This is for students with parents of life-threatening illnesses. There's the Making Headway Foundation. They assist children with parents who have brain or spinal cord tumors. And then there's organization-specific ones, like we talked about the NCCF earlier. And then there's the Pinky Swear Foundation. And this is for children of cancer patients as well. So again, there's just a brief list of what we found very quickly. Again, check out that free webinar that I have where we'll give you even more ideas on how to find them. We also want to make sure that we know how to spot legitimate scholarships versus scams. So we can link to that in the description below, or you can click here for that one because we don't want to apply to anything that asks for social security numbers, that has any red flags. So check out that video as well. Now, each committee, each organization has completely different requirements, deadlines. So I really recommend going to each one and just combing through all the details. I know that'll take work, but just think of it as an hourly rate, right? If we can win a $5,000 scholarship and it takes us, say, an hour of research and then a few hours of applying, that's still a pretty good rate of return, right? Now, just quickly, I want to use a couple minutes to talk about how we can use that cancer experience to write an incredible essay. How can we use it to win scholarships? Because again, this is a huge impact on a student's life. And so it is not a sob story. It is a valid, legitimate experience that does impact a student greatly, whether it's them going through it themselves or a close family member. And so it is completely valid, completely fair, and able to be used in our storytelling. So as far as how to get this money, we want to, of course, tell a story. So we don't want to just say, my mother had cancer and it greatly impacted me. I was depressed. I was worried. I didn't focus on my studies. Instead, we want to tell a story, right? And we can open this up with maybe the moment we found out. Right? I will never forget. Unfortunately, all of us, I'm one of 5 kids, all of us were together on Christmas Day. And my mother pulled us to the side and she said, oh gosh, I'm going to get emotional. She said, I don't want to ruin Christmas. However, this is the only time I've had you all in person. And she told us, right? And imagine an essay opening up with that, right? I'm getting choked up. So that would be memorable. Maybe I could say, it all started on Christmas Day when I thought we would be opening up gifts. Unfortunately, one of the things uncovered was some of the worst news of my life, right? So as a reader, I'm going to remember that. That's going to be a very memorable line. And it pulls at my heartstrings, right? So when writing essays for these committees, we do want to try to tell story. Now, I have an entire playlist about essays. I could talk about this forever. I do all the time. But that's one of the biggest tips I can give when it comes to families impacted by cancer and trying to get money for this, is telling that story, right? And we want to also break it down into, what did we get out of this? What kind of skill sets did we learn? For me, it put my mother into a complete different priority level. It just really made me appreciate her at a whole nother level. And now I see her more often, and I prioritize her a little bit more, right? So it made me reevaluate what was important in life. This is something that I could say. Maybe for some people, it changed their career path. Maybe now they want to pursue a career that can help with cancer. So that is also how we can come full circle with this. Okay. I don't want this video to be too long, but let me know in the comments, was this helpful? Do you have any questions? Have you found any scholarships for cancer that are not in my list? And are you willing to share them? If so, comment with links below and share them for other cancer survivors or families dealing with cancer. And again, make sure you hit subscribe, because every week we have a new strategy for your family to work towards a debt-free degree. And again, make sure you check out that free webinar where I give you even more ideas on how to find money for college. All right. Again, best wishes and swift healing, and we know the pain, so I'm so sorry if you guys have been impacted by cancer, but hopefully this can give you guys a little bit of help and hope. All right, this is Jocelyn with the Scholarship System. I'll see you guys in the next video.